as well as the protective gowns that are reusable and also quite useful.
This is a reminder that even though we continue to drive the vaccination campaign and also observing the decline of COVID-19 cases, we still have an urgent responsibility to do everything we can with the tools that we have to support those still suffering and save lives. And these items will assist in ensuring that patients are well cared for. Your Excellency, allow me to assure you that the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is committed.
She concluded by congratulating the Republic of China and Taiwan for their successful creation of a vaccine against COVID-19. She then encouraged Yemaswati to continue further taking the vaccination in the Kingdom of Eswatini that is currently available. I am Kanyisile Mabuza for Channel Yemaswati News with Gary Carlos in Babane.
In a meeting that was held in Manzini, principals in the Kingdom of Eswatini required the Minister for Education, Lady Howard Mabuza, to ask the government to increase school fees so that they can be able to maintain schools. We have a report.
Following that COVID-19 caused irregular opening and closing of schools, the Ministry of Education then took a decision last week for schools to reopen again officially on Monday. The Minister of Education, Lady Howard, today had a meeting with the head teachers before the opening of schools.
Protocols are COVID, ahamba kanjani, siwabamba kanjani uma sisesikolweni. Kwaseke sekufika le decision ukuthi asesibone ukuthi nasibabuyisela labantwana esikolweni bonke kutawuhamba kanjani ngekuthi sonke sigulela ukuthi bamane labantwana bafike eluhlolweni kukhona lebakwendile sitokhona ukuthi baqhubekela kuma grades lalandzelako nje nathi sibothishela siyathi ukuthi sizamile impela yize kuleso sikhashana lesinazo. Mulapho ke lapho semqhamuka khona umqondo ukuthi bo head teacher bethu esikolweni lokungibona by extension yahulumende by extension yelitiko letemfundo.
The teachers have asked the government to address the current situation in the kingdom so schools can go back to normal. They also mentioned there should be a rise of school fees for security in schools. Reporting for Yemaswati Channel, I am Nhlanhla Twala in Manzini.
The Minister for Natural Resources today, in collaboration with Water Aid Eswatini, Nedbank, and other stakeholders at ESWATINI, officially launched a program which will educate Yemaswati about the importance of not throwing waste material in dams and rivers. We have a report. The Ministry of Natural Resources today, in collaboration with Water Aid Eswatini, Nedbank, and other organizations today, officially launched and addressed the surface water pollution in rural areas and peri-urban areas. This is following a program that was launched by Nedbank members, which is called Earthwise, which will make sure that people do not litter inside rivers and dams and that they conserve the environment. Speaking during the launch, the Honorable Minister for Natural Resources, Senator Peter Pembe, stated that it is of paramount importance that Yemaswati understand the importance of not throwing anything inside rivers, especially something that will pollute water.
The numbers of how many nappies we accumulate per month. I was amazed. I didn't imagine that this was so. The availability of cheap and affordable brands of these nappies in the market has also propelled the situation as the volumes are now on the rise. The prevalence of COVID-19 pandemic has not helped the situation, as we are now also witnessing an increase in the improper disposal of face masks used to prevent the spread of the virus. The lack of proper disposal sites is making the problem more pronounced as people resort to informal ways of disposal, and our rivers, roads, and busy areas within our communities have become the next available disposal option.
The Honorable Minister concluded by also stating that the COVID-19 pandemic has not helped the situation, as they have noticed that some people dispose used masks in places that will be harmful to the public. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Gary Carlos, ESWATINI. Manzini Central High School students today demonstrated inside Manzini City with the aim of inciting other students from around the town to join them in their protest. We have a report.
The Manzini Central High School pupils boycotted classes today and took it to the streets in town, calling upon other pupils to join them as they protest over varying grievances. The students were intending to go to other schools like Salesian to get other students to join them in the protest. Baqhubeka ke bafunzi neluhambo lwabo. When they arrived at St. Teresa School, they found the gates locked, and then they went down to Salesian, and that is when the police came and the students had to run away from the police. Others went inside Matebula's flat. Reporting for Yemaswati channel, I am Rekla Twala in Manzini.
A teacher at Manzini Central High School today urged students in the school to concentrate on their studies as opposed to holding demonstrations and riots, further stating that they should leave political issues to older people. We have a report.
Following that, Manzini Central School students engaged in a protest in the morning, complaining about several issues in school. We then spoke to the school principal, Makekeli Keninza, who stated that the students were released in the morning after they saw they were reluctant to go to classes.
During morning assembly, si realize ukuthi masithi sithi abaphume ba emaklasini. Emaklasini ngathi bebakhiyele tinganangane, so bavele bemalanga phandle. Then sababona lokuthi vele ngazuthi abafundi okungena. Sabese ke vele sesiya reporter ka REO sa reporter nase maphoyiseni. Sase siya decide ukuthi no, kungcono ukuthi siba release ngoba sibona ukuthi sifuna kuvikela iproperty phela. Sabe sesiyababida sesithi abeteka assembly sabakhulula sathi abahambi. Baphumile vele abakahluphi, baphumile nje kahle la esikolweni. Emva kwaloko ke angadi lokuthi bafike bendani le ngaphandle. But nje nami ngikhathi ngidawu reporter kahle nakubo REO. Njela bakushito la esikolweni kusibakhala ngabo sakukhulumisa kuleleni kushoku kude ngisho asikwadi nje lokulaba kushoku.
Engabe ungathi nje teacher kuba yala bafunzi nekubabonisa kuloku lesebaqale kukwenda?
Bafunzi siyabayala sonke isikhathi namanje solo siyabayala lokuthi inhloso yabo ekwasesikolweni ukuthi bafunze baphumelele, so that batabanele kusasa. So we always talk to them about them being focused on their books ngoba nguko lokudabasida uma ke bavumela noma ngabe yini ibasusa ku focus siyaye sibatshele lokuthi lokho ukuthi abaphazamisa lokhu labakutele la sikoleni batawugcina bangakakutfoli. So sihlala sibatshela lokho ukuthi ababe seklasini abati ukuthi mabasuke emakhaya basukele ini, and when they are here bende kona lokho lobakusukele emakhaya.
Head teacher stated that most of what the students were then saying in town, she does not know because they did not talk about it when they were at school. Teacher Kelly Kininza has also asked the students to concentrate on their education. Reporting for Yemaswati channel, I am Nonhlanhla Twala in Manzini.
Mani, khumbula ukuthi kuchawulana nekutsinzana ungathelelana i-COVID-19. Qaphela, khumbula ukuthi kubambelana sinatwa engilasini yinye nakho kungathelelana i-COVID-19. Ungaqhubeki, khumbula kuvikela labaseceleni kwakho ngekuthimlela ingoselo. Bagcini besive, asende kuhamba ngemigomo ekuvikela i-COVID-19. Indlela lensha yethu sonke ekuphila ukuthi sitigcine siphephile kanye nesive sonke asikhumbutane njalo ngalesikutshelwa litiko letempilo nge-COVID-19. Asikwende konke, gcoka sifonyo, geza tandla ngensipho nemanti lahambako, gcina umkhathi uphindze ugweme ticubu. Mgcini wesive, ungapheli mandla i-COVID ingakapheli.
Do it all from the palm of your hand with the Eswatini Ministry of Health Alert app. You can get access to the app by getting the link from the Eswatini Ministry of Health social media pages and by scanning the QR code found on posters. Use the WhatsApp number 79436585 and send hi. Then, following the prompts, you can get to register for your COVID-19 jab. Get the latest updates on COVID-19 and even get access to a healthcare professional. There's so much more at your fingertips with the Eswatini Ministry of Health. Do it all. Vaccinate, wash your hands, and wear a mask.
Price Right Supermarket. Visit Price Right Supermarket and check out the best offers on groceries, drinks, body care, cleaning products, and much more. Find us in Manzini President's Center. Price Right Supermarket. All your essentials in one roof.
Libandla i-Breath of Life Church limemetela i-massive deliverance mhlaka 9 October eCampus Crusade eMbabane nga-12 kuya ku-2:30 p.m. Nawe woda utawubona emandla aNkulunkulu agucula impilo yakho. Ungashaya kunati tinombolo lotibonako.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Yemaswati channel. I am Zandile Mpapane. We shall continue with our bulletin. In a spine-chilling incident that happened in Gambeni under the Hoho region, 2 people were brutally murdered after they were beaten and then forced to drink poison. We have a report.
Nangifika la ngikhanze amajipi akhona la ebaleni emaphoyisa kathi wababuza uyini lo ngimnakethu nathi basihlabela imkhosi bathi asitela ekhaya njengemaphoyisa nebana babulewile nembasikhanza bafile sesibala ishile ke mabuza sibala ijipi nje ngithe senibala ishile bathi hawo sesibala ishile ngithe mina hayi asemalini balini ivule into babuka lembola ke emaphoyisa avula ngababuka baqala ngalomnakethu ngambuka vele ukupinzile vele ufile nangimbuka lapha emehlwe lapha ehlathini takhe emloyeni gqolele imali master 100 bambonya base babuya ngala kulomkhulu wami bamgwabula Bakhona labasolakalako kulesinto lesentekile ngoba nomfana lomncane lomntulu wethu uyabaqha babenda lesilo sengubo lesi. Nalabanye ke bathi ke bebela eminyango. Mala abathi ke lokuthi lebe bebelapha eminyango bebabangaki bona. Kodwa laba labangenela endlini bayi2 baphethe labo bhusha nale master 900. Bathi ke bala kumakhelwane babasho ngamagama mina ngibathi kahle lamagama ngingale ngojini.
Ingabe kukhona lebe nikuvile ekucabana nabo lawo makhelwane lebe nikuvile ngemnakeni naye umkhulu wakho.
Lokuqabana ke bekukhona lokuqabana nami bebangitshela ke umnakethu la lo mkhulu wami bekangitshela ukuthi hey asiphilisani kahle nalo makhelwane lo. Indzaba yakhona nje yaze yahamba yawubikwa usho emphakathi. Wathi kumphakathi ukuthi ayithathela tinyathelo hawo tutikela namhla lo. Vele nje lokuqabana kukhona. Lo kuke kwafika nje la kagogo walomnakethu kulangisheya la ngandwantu. Wasuka ke lo mfana lapha kulomakhelwane yena lo longenela wabagangatha. Wathi nifunani lapha nini ngoba nini niyathakatha ngine nimpulele lo bokufe nje makoti lapha. Nifunani la? Wathukuthela umnakethu ahamba umangala emliba hamba loqala utikwa lemliba labadla. Kuthi nisibalo yalabantu abadzala nokubonela umuthi nithi nje baloya. Labadla leqala latikwa labadla. Vele lokuqabana kuvele kudzala. Ekubeni badlule leqala le sesiyeva ukuthi baba bese baba nako lokusonga ke sebayasonga basonga. Ngiloko nje lokuqabana vele kudzala.
Members of the Eswatini National Union of Students today marched in Mbabane to deliver a petition at the Cabinet offices and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. We have a report. Members of the Eswatini National Union of Students today held a march in Mbabane where they delivered a petition. The students' starting point was at the fire station offices in Mbabane, where the students who came in numbers were seen marching to the cabinet offices. Their first stop was the cabinet offices where they delivered their petition. Their petition was read by Kolani Masego, the president of the Eswatini National Union of Students, which stated that all they want is that when students graduate from their different colleges and universities, they get the jobs that they are qualified for. They also mentioned that they want all students who qualify for university and colleges to be able to get scholarship. They further mentioned that the criteria in which students are chosen to be awarded scholarship should be changed, as some students are affected by the criteria. The petition at the cabinet offices was received by the Principal Secretary Lindiwe Makubo, who stated that he will take the petition to his superiors. The student then marched to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, where they again delivered a petition to the ministry. It was received by the Principal Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Mkhalipi, who was accompanied by the Under-Secretary of the Ministry. The students were then seen marching back to their starting point as they prepared to go to their respective places after the petition was delivered peacefully. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News, Mbabane. The Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology in Ezulwini today, in collaboration with the Eswatini Communications Commission, officially launched a national letter writing for young people. We have a report.
Today, the Eswatini was part and parcel in the World Post Day 2021 commemoration. This is where there was also a launch of the letter writing competition for young people in the Kingdom of Eswatini. This event was graced by the presence of the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology, Mr. Maxwell Masugu, who stated that this is a very important day as we celebrate the milestones achieved by Eswatini participating in the world postal business. He also stated that the country could not have managed to participate in the postal network without the support of Universal Postal Union. He stated that this union has played a pivotal role in the development of the postal sector in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and also it ensured that all technical standards set by the network postal agencies worldwide are met, whilst ensuring goods and services are delivered at customer expected standards. The Principal Secretary also stated that the postal industry Even though it may be going down because of digitization, it was one way in which every household in the world was communicating with their loved ones in various places.
It would be a mistake not to mention the distress and undesirable effects of the COVID-19 pandemic that even to this day continues to negatively affect the postal sector. The pandemic halted the majority of the international postal sector services for significant periods.
The chief executive of Eswatini Communications Commission, Prince Mvilawempi Dlamini, stated that this year's theme is Innovate to Recover, which aims to highlight that despite being adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, the postal sector becomes very creative, and also they have developed new ideas and methods to continue providing postal services to their customers. Dlamini stated that the Commission is aware of the challenges that the pandemic posed on all local and southern regional postal sector because it is currently participating in quality of service projects facilitated by the UPU and the Communications Regulatory Association of Southern Africa, CRASA.
Subsequently, the Commission engaged the Post and observed that they were taking measures to engage their counterparts to find alternatives on how to arrest the problem and ensure that the flow of mail continues unabated. In conjunction with CRASA, we are currently engaging all member states involved in the project to find long-lasting solutions to the prevailing challenges and of offering support to national operators in the region.
It was also said during this event that no one should underestimate the power of the old way of postal communications because it carried through many generations. I'm Khanyisile Mabuza for Channel Yemaswati News with Gary Carlos Ezulweni.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security today announced that for students to be awarded scholarship, they have to get a police clearance statement first to determine if they have any criminal record. We have a report.
About 3,600 students will benefit from the government scholarship program at tertiary institutions. This was announced by the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Tulani Mkhalipi.
I must inform the public that all applications were made through the scholarship loan administration systems LAS, and we received about 4,100 applications through that system, and out of those 4,100 applications, successful applicants were about 3,600, and there is an objective criteria that was used to select those students, and the criteria included positive identification of the applicant as a bona fide Swati citizen. Secondly, that the student is applying in a university that government has recognized as one of the universities that will send students to. And three, that the students are applying for a program which is a priority. And four, that the students are above a predetermined points threshold. For students that are applying for degree programs, the predetermined points threshold is 27 points. For students that are applying for diploma programs is 25 points.
Linda Shongat, Gary Carlos for Channel Yemaswati News, Babane.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security today at Ezulweni officially launched the dissemination of the 2021 Labour Migration Statistics and Key Finding Program. We have a report.
At this event, it was revealed that about 11,861 Yemaswati have migrated. 60.3% of these left to find jobs 25.4% went for education purposes. 6.2% of this number left on permanent and long-term placements. 4.5% left for marital purposes. 0.8% left on forced displacement. 0.9% were human trafficking victims, and 1.9% are for other reasons. The Principal Secretary in the ministry stated that it is impossible or inevitable that people are not going to migrate from their country for one reason or the other.
It is a reality, it is a permanent feature in the employment space. So it is then therefore very important that we know the dynamics and how it presents itself in that particular economy, so that we know how we could probably manage and intervene.
There are only males there who left, who are 288, there are no females. Looking at the ages 45 to 49 again, only males left, 868 males left, and there are no females.
He concluded by stating that it is also important that the Kingdom of Eswatini keeps updating these numbers, because waiting for a period of a few years may come back with statistics that are untrue, and yet it is important to know where Yemaswati are and also have the correct numbers of migrants of the Kingdom of Eswatini in other countries of the world. I'm Khanyisile Mabuza for Channel Yemaswati News with Zandile Mpapane, Ezulwini.
Well, that's all the news we had for tonight, but before ending tonight's bulletin, let's take a recap of the stories which made headlines. The Ministry of Health today received the oxygen concentrators and protective gowns from the Republic of China, Taiwan. In a spine-chilling incident, 2 people were brutally murdered at Ngambeni under the Hoho region. Members of the Eswatini National Union for Students today delivered a petition at the Cabinet offices and the Ministry of Labor today in Mbabane. What are all the news we had for tonight? Do have yourselves a beautiful evening. Good night.